What's going on out there, Spotlight Faithful? It's your main man, Tommy, on the spot. Welcome to today's edition of the Wrestling Drive. Bit of a lunch edition of the Wrestling Drive, so I hope if all of you are out there, you're having lunch. Maybe when you're seeing this, you might be having dinner. Maybe when you're seeing this, you might be having breakfast tomorrow morning. But I hope wherever you're seeing this, it does find you well, and I hope you're having a very good summer. It's crazy to think that this time next week, New York City will be overwhelmed and overflown with wrestling fans. It'll be a wrestling fan bonanza. There'll be wrestling events virtually at every moment from about Thursday afternoon all the way until Tuesday the following week. And it's going to be exciting stuff. This is an exciting time. You've got to get, by being here, you already kind of start to feel that aura. I was in a supermarket not all that long ago, a couple days ago, and I heard some folks talking about Summerslam coming to town. It's a pretty big deal, and you got to give WWE credit for making each one of these big four events seem like a big and exciting time. And a must-see kind of tourist attraction. It used to just be WrestleMania, but now with the Big Four and the Four for More, the 4 straight nights of action, beginning with TakeOver for NXT, and then Royal Rumble, and then either Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, SummerSlam, or WrestleMania, and then Raw and SmackDown. WWE takes over the town. There's meet and greets at everywhere you could think of. Wrestling podcasts are basically happening live at a variety of places, something to wrestle with. Wrestling is fun. Sam Roberts, all these podcasts are happening. The folks over at Cheap Heat. So there's a lot of really entertaining stuff. There's something for everybody. And actually, this weekend, I'm going to get my wrestling started a little early. One of the main reasons I wanted to jump on here with you guys was not just to hype up all of the SummerSlam stuff, but it was also to talk to you guys about a show I'm going to tomorrow. I went through a period of time, I'd say from about 2001 to 2011, when I loved independent wrestling. I should probably preface that. I still love independent wrestling. I still follow it. I order an IPPV from time to time. But from 2001 to 2011, I was attending independent shows on the regular. Pretty much in the tri-state area. If you had a show from New York, Jersey, Pennsylvania, or Connecticut, I'd find a way to get there if I had some time to do so. I remember a famous story when Daniel Bryan was released back in 2010. My buddy and I we had Ring of Honor tickets in New York City, so we went from that day, we drove from New York way out to the tip of New Jersey to see Daniel Bryan wrestle in a high school gymnasium. And then we drove back to get to the Hammerstein Ballroom just in time for Ring of Honor. Another time I remember driving in a blizzard in order to get to, Dragon Gate USA Wrestling. So we went from New York all the way to Pennsylvania to go to Dragon Gate USA in the middle of a blizzard. We left at like 10 a.m. and we didn't even have time to stop for Cracker Barrel that day, which was a bummer. But we barely made it in time for the show. But then, as years went on, just, got a little busy. Obviously, you guys know I'm engaged, so, been in a long-term relationship for the last 4 or 5 years. And in doing so, have been occupied with that, with career stuff, with graduate school, all this BS. All this unimportant stuff, so to speak. But in doing so, I had kind of not been to too many independent shows. Well, that's going to change this weekend. I'm heading to Progress Wrestling, first independent show in a number of years, and I'm pretty excited for it. This was a call made by Deej. I can't take full responsibility for it. Deej, for his birthday, which was just a couple days ago, was really amping up, really getting excited for the wrestling events. I went out and, okay, well, we're going to go to TakeOver, we're going to go to SummerSlam, we're going to do Raw, we're going to SmackDown. I want to go to Progress Wrestling. So he had the choice of all of those, and he chose this Progress Wrestling show. And so we're going to the show this weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun, I got to be honest. Just up and down the card, just big-time independent wrestling names, big-time guys who are now either in WWE under contract. There's a WWE title on the line this weekend at this Progress show. So let me break down just some of the names that are on this card. To start things off, they've got a big-time women's match. They've got Deonna Purrazzo. She was an alternate for the Mae Young Classic. Dakota Kai, who's in the Mae Young Classic. And I heard very involved. I'm not going to give away any spoilers, but I heard very involved in that Mae Young Classic. I think she's on the show as well. That'll be a lot of fun. I know that they have also Joey Janela taking on Jimmy Havoc. Those are two guys I've always wanted to see live. Fans of both of those guys. That's going to be crazy. They have Donovan Zizak in probably one of his final independent appearances before he moves on to WWE. He's going up against Timothy Thatcher, a guy I've heard about for years, and I'd love to see that match. I'm excited for that one. Then they have Walter, who is their Atlas champion. He's defending that title against Matt Riddle, the King of Bros. My first chance to see the King of Bros. I'm pumped for it. It should be very, very cool. And then obviously then you start to factor in some of these WWE UK guys. I know they have both Tyler Bate and Trent Seven. Those guys are British Strong Style. They're in a tag team in Progress Wrestling. They're going to be going up against a team that contains Travis Banks, a guy I've been hearing amazing things about. Excited to check him out. So that's going to be fun. Then obviously in the main event, the WWE UK Championship on the line. Pete Dunne is going up against Jack Gallagher. That's right, Jack Gallagher, the guy with the umbrella on 205 Live. Yep, same guy. And those guys are going to be going one-on-one for the UK Championship. So it's WWE is obviously behind this event. PW Insider came out and reported that WWE is actually flying a number of these guys to the Performance Center down in Florida immediately following this show. So this is going to be fun. I'm pumped for it. If you guys are around the New York City area, if you don't have anything to do on a Saturday, I strongly would suggest checking it out. I'll obviously be back to break that down for you guys. And for those of you who are into SummerSlam prep as well, we're going to be going through and breaking down a variety of SummerSlam retro events over the next week. Going to be a lot of fun. These are going to be kind of live perspective type events called Behind the Barricade, if you will, where we're going to be breaking down about 10 minutes for each one. Not all of the different SummerSlam events, obviously, but a number of them that I either went to live, or I know somebody who went to live, or I was near the town where SummerSlam took place. So it's going to be fun. Hopefully a fun time. Hopefully lead to a lot of great retro discussion, and we'll take it from there. It's an exciting time to be a wrestling fan, specifically in the New York City area. And Progress Wrestling tomorrow night, if you have a chance. I think tickets might still be available, but I do think that's the only date Progress still has available is tomorrow night. I think they've sold out literally every other date on that tour, so should be a big show. I'm pumped for it. Check me out on Twitter at TommyOnTheSpot. Make sure you hit like. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Have a great weekend. Rock on.